Hello, Isaac.
Hello, Rispa.
Hello, everyone. Thank you all for joining. We will start at 5 past. So feel free to get comfortable for this session. You can use the chat to introduce yourself, say where you're joining us from. Yes. At Mirasi, I think we can start the call.
Okay. Thank you everyone for joining. My name is Melchizedek Mirasi, but most people call me Mel because the name is quite long. So a lot of people call me Mel. Apart from Twahir, who calls me First Class. Uh, Thank you everyone for joining. This is the third session from this webinar series that has been organized by Tanda in collaboration with APC and Rhizomatica. The series, particularly this one, we are going to discuss the knowledge resources from community networks across Africa. And today's session is going to be very interesting, mostly for two reasons for me. One is the interesting panelists that we have, and two, because it's going to be a conversation. It's going to be a discussion about knowledge resources, which are really the backbone of community networks, or in terms of capacity building or taking community networks to the next level. Who am I? As I said, my name is Melchizedek. I'm a digital literacy enthusiast and a digital freelancer. And I'm also, right now I'm working as a I'm working as a UX regional coordinator for a DW funded project called Colmena, which is a digital toolbox for grassroots media organizations. I'm also heavily involved with the community networks space. First, I participated as a digital trainer for the COP training for the Kenya National School of Community Networks. Yeah, so that's all about me. And I'm looking forward to really good conversation and sharing of information among community networks of the people who have joined this session. And so before I introduce my panelists, I would like us to go through the house rules. I think RISPA will also share the APC's guideline for caring space. But generally, I would say, first, we are going to use the chat box. So if you have any question or if you want to speak, kindly just raise your hand or use the chat box. And also, let's keep our mics muted unless it's our turn to speak. And also, lastly, let's use a respectful language. And so, back to community networks. Why we are all here? What are community networks? So, complementary telecommunication infrastructures that are established, maintained, and sustained by community members as opposed to the commercial operators. And they are really helpful in bridging the digital divide. Because as for commercial operators, they're mainly driven by profits, and for marginalized communities or rural areas or peri-urban areas where they foresee low profits, they often tend to not reach those areas, and that's where the community networks come in to serve such people. And it's more than just giving, providing internet connectivity, but the connectivity itself is provided in a way that helps or in line with the community's immediate needs. So be it social, be it economical, or even cultural needs of the community. So that's the benefit of having a community network, and also its role in bridging the digital divide. And now to my panelists, I would like I would like them to introduce themselves. We have 7 panelists from across different regions. So maybe if I'll give a few minutes for each panelist to introduce themselves. And we are going to start by Isaac from Ognet in Uganda, and then we'll proceed to Ahir. So Isaac, if you're there.
Hello, everyone. Mel, thank you for giving us an overview. I'm happy to meet everyone in this conversation. My name is Isaac Muku, and I work with an organization called Women of Uganda Network. We are based in Uganda, and my role have been able to do a lot of research. We are also piloting a rural broadband community networks that is in northern Uganda, and that's where the main talking point for our discussion for today will come from. So I think that's all I could say. For now, I would like to hand back the microphone to you. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much, Isaac. We are looking to learning more about UGNET. Now let's proceed to hear from Dunia Moja.
Good evening. How are you? Can you hear me?
Hear you, Tahir. Go ahead.
Okay. My name is Tahir Hussein Kasim. I run Dunia Moja Community Network in Kilifi, Kenya. We are currently operating from two locations, two villages rather, Tondia village and Takaungu village, stretched between 30 kilometers in between. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Tahir. Let's proceed to Mike from Ateker Community Network. Mike, if you can hear us. Okay, I think in the meantime, we can move on to Victor from StepNet. Victor, if you're there. Okay, might not be ready yet. How about Immaculate from Bosco, Uganda?
Thank you. I am happy to be here today. My name is Immaculate Lake. I work for Bosco, Uganda. Bosco is battery operated systems for community outreach. I work as the IT security officer. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Immaculate. Looking forward to learning more about Bosco. Let's move on to Harry from Pamojanet in DRC.
Hi everyone, and thanks again for having us with you. I'm Harry Chiba from Pamojanet, which is a community network based in eastern DRC, actually in the province of South Kivu, and currently we are operating in two locations. One being on the Idri, Iceland, where we've been operating since 2014. And recently, last year, we have been launching new spots in further in the south in the villages of Lovungi. And I think we'll be talking about our sustainability management that we've been using, and that's what we'll be sharing with you later on. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Harry. Mike, are you ready now? Mike, we can't hear you.
Audible enough now?
Yep, we can hear you now, at last.
Hello?
Mike, you are muted again, we can't hear you. In the meantime, Mike, if you are ready, just let us know. But I would like us to now to proceed. And I wanted just to kick things off. I would ask a very a simple question to the panelists. So this one I think can be answered by anyone. But we can start with Twahir. So Twahir from the National School of Community Networks. How did the knowledge exchange programs benefit your organization, your community network? If you're willing to share anything in that regard.
First class, nipatie a round of 5 minutes. Start with someone else, please. I've
Okay, no worries to hear. Then we start with Isaac. Isaac, by the way, if you want to start with the presentation, so if you want to give us a more detailed presentation of your community network before you proceed to that, kindly you can do so. We can give you between 5 to 7 minutes for the presentation.
Thank you so much, Mel. I'm very happy to participate in this conversation. And actually, you started from where I wanted to start from. Women of Uganda Network, I think around 2018, when we had the COVID issues in Uganda, that was the first time, we ventured into the community networks to ensure that the community in Apache municipality, which is located in the northern part of Uganda, have access to the internet. The internet that is very reliable, the internet that is accessible by all, the internet that is affordable by everyone. So just to give you a bit of the highlights of how the community network in Apache is, I'm just trying to get the PowerPoint presentation for us to be able to see how the setup of the network is. I hope you're able to see my screen now.
Yes, you can see your screen, Isaac.
Yeah, so this community network is being implemented in collaboration with Makerere University under the under the College of Engineering, Technology and Design Art. We prefer to call it CEDAT. So in terms of the setup or the idea behind this community network is that we thought of ensuring that the different community members have access to information that can help them in the agricultural sector. They can have access to the information that can help them in their daily work, especially at the government stakeholder at the district level, and then also the schools around the municipality. Can they have access to this kind of internet? So when you look at the kind of the diagram that you're seeing on my screen, right at the center, how the setup of the network is that we are using the transmitter for a radio station that is Radio Apache. And in terms of where we are getting our service provider from, when you look at the arrow that is coming from up, where the ISP, internet from the ISP, we are currently using Airtel because one, they are providing us with cheaper bandwidth and the quality is also very good for the community. So we get the internet direct from the internet service provider straight to they transmit straight to the routers, the receivers that we have set up at the radio station. So the internet from the radio station now is transmitted to the different points. And as I talk right now, we have 12 points. One of these points, if you look at my left, we have a Nico photo studio where we have a receiver antenna. And around Nico Photo Studio, this is where most of the community spend most of their time at, so they get to use the internet a lot. And then when you look at right below, still on the left, I think bottom left is what we are calling the district headquarters, We also have a receiver antenna at the district headquarters, where all the staff at the district headquarters now they have access to a reliable and free internet because of this one access point that we have put at the radio station, the transmission center. And then also part of the internet is distributed to primary schools around the place. And then we also have technical schools that we are working with and government schools that we are working with that get access to this internet. And this internet, it's operating within a radius of that is 12 kilometers, and we have so far 10 kilometers, we have so far 12 points. What we have here is just illustration at the beginning. So how we did it, how we spotted out these places, of course, issues of the landscape, issues of the vegetation around, and then of course issues of what? Issues of the people who are willing to actually host the internet. And then of course also to bring in the gender aspect, we are also working with farmer groups that was established by WOOCNet. So within the farming community, also we have a network where they have free access to the internet. And we have had over the few months of implementation, very interesting, feedback on how this internet is helping them. So in terms of how we are using the knowledge or how the community is actually using the knowledge, first of all, for us to identify some of the access points that I've already highlighted, we did a research to try and understand what people think about as far as community internet is concerned, and how do they actually want it to, be established in their communities. So each location is identified based on the feedback from the communities. And at all those centers during our engagement, yes, we had the initial idea of just putting the network in place, but during our conversation, during our engagement, they suggested that at each location, we need to have a representative or a committee that is in charge of ensuring that the internet, the internet is on full time, even when the power on, and they have to ensure that it is actually working by coordinating with the team at Radio Apache, the technical team, and then the KIC team as well. And then that technical committee also, we have now trained them. They have a bit of skills of how to check, why is the internet not working? Why is it slow today and all that? And then of course, they also work in that community for them to be able to, in some of these centers, we have the passwords that one needs to get just for security purposes. So they are the ones who suggested that, and we believe that we have, the network operating very well for them because of their participation in the establishment. So I think that's what I could share for now. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you so much, Isaac, for the elaborate presentation. What stood out for me really is the last aspect of the technical training or the technical committee and the training that they are going through. So capacity, I think that's the essence of capacity building, or the benefit that the local community members of where community network is established are benefiting. So for example, for the people from your community are benefiting by learning these technical skills, and also they are the ones who are helping to make sure that the program or the network runs at 24/7. So I think that is a key aspect of community networks and how you've integrated it within your community network. So thank you so much. I had a question, but maybe we will proceed to Twahir before we start the Q&A session. So Twahir, if you are ready, go ahead. And for the audience, if you have any question, kindly note them down, or you can use the chat box to post the question. We'll ask them at towards the end of the session. Back to you, Tahir.
Again, can you hear me clearly?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, do I have access to share the screen?
Sorry?
I was checking if I had access to share the screen.
Sure, yeah.
Okay, I can
Yeah.
see that I do have.
Yeah.
Okay. So, good evening again. So, well, as I started on during as my introduction, is that we are running from as we currently have two villages from which we are working from, but we actually have 4 towers from which we are connecting our clients from. Now, so what we realized is that our visibility of the network was a bit challenging. That every time we need to wait for a call from a client to understand whether they're up or down. We did try to put up a network as a management as a monitoring system, but we had some challenges. So we try to develop a system. So
Hello, Tahir. I
this
think we've lost Tahir.
can you hear me now?
Yeah, we can hear
Hello?
you. Yeah, we can hear you.
Hear me? And you can screen. Can you see
Tahir, I
my
think
screen?
we can see your screen, but your internet connection, I think, is a bit shaky.
Minute.
Okay. While Tahir is sorting up the internet issue, I would like to bring Victor up to speed. So Victor was just joined. Thank you and welcome. We are just sharing more about our community networks and our knowledge resources. So far, we've had a presentation from Isaac, and Wahid was next. So kindly just prepare yourself to share with us your presentation about the knowledge resources. Yeah, so that's all. Feel very welcome, Victor. I would like to proceed to Mike from Ateker. So Mike, if you are ready, the floor is yours. And then we can come back to Tahir. Mike, are you there? Yeah, apparently I think Mike is also not ready yet. Can we proceed to Harry? Harry, are you ready?
Hi, Mel. Can you hear me?
Sure, I can hear you.
Okay, thank you. So I think I won't be having much like to share with you while presenting, but never mind. I think I have shared some presentation with Whisper. So in case maybe there's something interesting, there's need for to hear more from what we are doing as La Difference and Pamojanet, you can contact either RISPA so that maybe we can link up after the call and share whatever it might be possible to share with anybody, because here we are here to help each other. So I'll introduce, maybe I've introduced myself in the chat. Never mind, I'll be repeating. I'm Harry Chimba from DR Congo, working with La Difference and Pamojanet. La Difference, actually, it's a local organization that support entrepreneurs working toward the goals of prosperity and peace in DRC. We do like we do intervene mainly in four sectors, being business acceleration with, as I mentioned, with social entrepreneurs, also in digital, promotion and innovation. We also intervene in circular economy, as well as in the energy sector. So talking maybe about digital and innovation, that's where we, since 2014, we've established a community network called Pamojanet on the island of Idri, which is a small island, but the biggest I think we have in DRC, in the Lake Kivu, just on the border with Rwanda. So the aim, or like the beginning of the community network, was following a request by the local community or the chief of the Iceland, since he noticed that many of the youth from the island were leaving the island to go into different places. He saw that maybe with internet being accessible to all it's on the islands, that would like impact on the could impact on the business. And yeah, thanks for sharing for me, Rispa. Could impact on the business and the Iceland development. So what we're having on the screen there is a map of our network that we had. I think that map is referring to what was in place in 2018. Now it has changed. I think we all know that the impact that the COVID, the pandemic of coronavirus, had on the businesses was tough, and Pamojanet also suffered from that. So mainly we have our ISP, which is based, we get it in Bukavu, and from Bukavu to the Iceland, there's a distance of 60 kilometers over sea. That way the connection, that's how we get the connection onto Idri, and from the main mast on Idri Iceland, we go to different other masts that then can connect different businesses. The sustainability model of Pamojanet being implemented on in the village, where in terms of economy, it's tough and it's not very very lucrative. So we've been targeted. We've been targeting local businesses, like to help support with small revenues the sustainability of the community network. Then from management aspects, that keep it there, please, Whisper. The model of Whisper, can you please go to the slides? You just the slide on top.
Is it this one on project model? Okay.
Yeah, the project model. So why we call it project model? Because with the local community, we train them to have or to manage the community network the way La Défense manages a project. So for that, we have four key elements: a proven and well-documented project model being important for achieving successful results. So this means that they must have a plan, they must have goals, and they must put up, a way of working in order to achieve those goals as results. So that helps them to monitor success, rather than like to be just, if I may say, working like as any other company without saying that no, they just open and work, they're connecting at the work, but like we used to put them, to defy them. Like for example, we can say, okay, this month, if you're having 3 customers, after 3 months you need maybe to have 6 customers. So that's incite them, like to do marketing, to make promotion, and to talk to customers in order to have more clients joining the network. A project plan covering all activities required to produce the project deliverables and a detailed project budget are important factors for success. So these in terms of community network promoters. Instead here, I'll talk about La Défense. This concerns us. We have to have a budget for our community network, and we have like to also set goals to be produced as the project deliverables. So that also helps La Défense monitoring how the project is going and how our implication is being successful with Pamojanet. Then coming to the execution of the projects, to be carefully directed and monitored by a project manager. So in this case, in La Défense will delegate a project manager for Pamojanet, who is not based within the community, but who's working with La Défense, but he's the man. He's a point of contact with Pamojanet, and who is like hearing all their problems, who is like mentoring them on how to trade with their clients, and how to also it's giving support, like also or technically, of course, linking them up to our main, IT, who's also based with La Défense. Can you move further a bit down, Rispa? If you may go maybe to the Parmojanet technical map.
Is it this one?
Can you go maybe further down to technical
Okay.
map?
We're at conclusion.
Is it the same? There's no technical map in that. There's a technical map somewhere, Rispa.
Yeah, maybe Harry, because of time, maybe if you can just take us through the technical map, like summary of it. Yeah.
Yeah, so the technical map already, it's what the first image that Rispa shared. So as I said earlier in the introduction, now we have also another community network based in Luvungi, and that one is having its ISP or its internet connection is coming from Bujumbura. The village is it's much closer to Burundi than to any other major city from DRC. That's the reason why we got the connection directly from Burundi. And at the moment, we're having three antennas that are connecting the communities in Luvungi, and it's same. We're working, I think, that the same way working with Parmojanet. It's the same way that we're implementing that project down there. So what we do, first of all, with based, if I may say, based on the experience we have with Parmojanet on Idri, what we do, we have established, a service level agreement for users. So it's sort of a contract that we submit to any clients willing to be connected, so that he can, see what we are offering prior to him, joining the network. And this also it's encouraged because many of the people or the clients, you found out that they don't know how, the technical of the community network works. This means that whenever you have like issues with connectivity, let's say out of a period of 1 month, for 2 days, you haven't been able to, like to deliver with the connectivity, they're willing like to say no, we won't pay because we had no connection. So these are kind of issues that we put in that we raise in that service level agreements, and that we have to, both parties have to sign, so that like to avoid kind of disagreements that may be leading to clients leaving the network, which is not good, because we also need them like to join, to be with us and to stick with us. Then on the technical part, we have a monitoring system that is installed at the what we call mainly the kiosk, where it's like a bureau of the community network, so that we may know at what time the connection was on or off, and also the number of people, you know, that are connected directly. Those are not like customers that have signed a contract, but these are like people that just come around the kiosk to benefit from the community network internet. Also, we have what we call incident management. Incident management process. This also is to help us hear the problem that our customers, you know, are facing while connecting to the community network. So, talking about incident management process, we have described, you know, 4 points that, you know, are mainly, you know, the subject of these issues. So we have it's a sort of, you know, we have the incident management overview, incident management sub process, incident management roles, and workflow. So these modules explain all the way to solve a technical problem with homogeneous network, and how each service is involved. So as a conclusion, as per Mojanet, we aim, our goal is to have, you know, local businesses based as part of the revenues from for the community network. So this means we target, you know, hotels, restaurants, shops that may be in need of the internet. And also, as La Difference, we also do, you know, fundraising to have, you know, some funders or some internet lovers to join in and support the work that we are doing, because that's not a secret. We all know how expensive running a community network and the internet equipment can cost. And as I mean, as remarks, we say that we are saying that a proven and well-documented project model is important for achieving successful results based on these 3 questions: what to produce, how to produce, and when to produce. Secondly, the initial installation of the community network and subsequent enhancements and improvements should be carried out as well-defined and well-planned projects. So here we like, you know, we are insisting on, you know, well planning, you know, on the planning of the community network. It must be, you know, it should be like just be treated as any other normal project. You know, with a budget as well, you know, with to call it you know, I mean, with all that need to be planned prior to start a project. And lastly, in order not to lose the values that the project has delivered, it is necessary that there are people and processes that can take care of the daily operations of the community network and the relationship with the users. So our how do we put this in execution at Pamojanet? As I said earlier, within La Difference, we will delegate a project manager for Pamojanet. Our IT will give full-time support to the local technical team, and at the local level, I mean at the community network level, we also have a management team. Actually, we have two guys. I mean, one guy and one lady. So the lady is mainly focusing on the administrative sector, and the guy has been trained with our different ITs, and now he's a local chief technician within the community network. And both like the guy and the lady, they are both also in contact with customers in order to to get more customers and to listen to them so that they can report what is going on properly and what need to be improved. So I will end up there, and thank you very much for your time.
Yeah, well, thank you so much, Mr. Harry, and the good work that you guys are doing in DRC, with the Pamojanet. That was really, really amazing. I liked the aspect of marketing. I think one of the vital puzzles that as community networks we have to solve is exploring sustainability models, making sure that we can sustain our community networks by ourselves, so they can be here for the longest time. And I liked how you guys are approaching it when you mentioned about marketing and striving to get clients to join the network and focusing on consistent growth of revenue. That was really, really amazing. I also like that you mentioned about the documentation, how it's really important for community networks and for the growth of your community network and how you are approaching it. That was really, really amazing. And lastly, thinking about the scalability of the nodes. I think that is also something that came out quite clear from your presentation. And I also liked how you are approaching it, how you expand from 1 node to 3 nodes to couple of nodes and into different villages. So that was really, really amazing as well. So thank you so much. I think if anyone has any question, just a reminder to have them down or ask them via the chat box. For now, we will go back to Mr. Twahir. So Twahir, if you're ready, the floor is yours.
Thank you again, and sorry for the network disruption. Let me share my screen.
No worries.
Okay, now as I was trying to explain earlier, you can hear me clearly now, isn't it?
Yes,
Yeah.
we can hear you.
Okay. So we currently have 4 towers across a radius of around 30 kilometers between from our main as a knock. So what we found out was that actually finding out which client is up or down was quite problematic. Sometimes, as you'll hear, a client as a complaining that I've been down for a whole weekend and no one has actually raised me. So so we tried to develop a system from Nagios, but it was a bit complicated for us. So finally, we landed on as developing a network management system using Microsoft Excel. Why did we choose Excel? It's because Excel is a system which is mostly available for almost all computer users. Based, as looking at the fact that as a majority of us are on Windows. So for us, as what we needed to do was name the site. So so the Excel as a file has 5 columns and 3 worksheets. So I'll start off with the first worksheet, which we call as a network monitoring. So it has a column which has name, the name of the site or the client, and then the IP address, and then the status of that link, whether it's up or down. And then as we also put in the latency and the time which it has been tested last. Then we have a start button and a stop button. The start button actually starts the testing, whereby it goes around the whole list of clients that we have. And as it goes, as it checks, it updates that that test information onto the data as a worksheet. So the data populates all the test results. So the network monitoring sheet does the testing, then the data holds all the historical information, and then we have the last sheet, which is called a summary sheet, which basically gives us the status of all links as per a certain time. So what we do, the sheet remains live all through the day, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. So in case it has the computer shuts down, then all we need after opening it is to press start. And as you can see now, it's going through all the whole list of the network. So it actually does this testing every 3 minutes. So every 3 minutes, in case a client is down the next 3-minute cycle, then we are able to actually call that client and confirm, is it a power outage in the area, or is there a need for us to send a technician? So the data sheet, let me just go to the data sheet. So the data sheet populates everything. So from the date as we actually started testing, it will be there. And then the summary sheet will now have, we can actually filter status, whether it's online or offline. We can filter the date that we want to check. Normally, we'll actually have the filter of the date that we are in. And then we can actually filter with hours. Like now, I'm actually monitoring any site which has been down in 1600 hours. So basically, as this actually system has really equipped us in finding the position of our clients. And sometimes the clients are actually surprised that I give them a call and ask them what's the problem at your site, because I can see that your system is down. So it also creates as a goodwill with our clients. So that is all. I'm sorry I couldn't do a PowerPoint. I'm not feeling well. I'm actually doing this presentation from my from bed. Thank you. If there is any questions, then I'm there to answer it. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much, Tahir, and quick recovery. Your presentation has also reminded me of my days in high school when we used to play with the Microsoft Access to create databases. What we thought would be POSs when we get out of high school. And also just a reminder from your presentation of how some of the simple tools that we can use to help move our, move our community networks to the next level. And what basically that was also the essence of this webinar series, to share some of the resources that we have and how other community networks can also benefit from them. So thank you so much for that. And also maybe one thing that was really, really amazing for me is the synchronization part of it, getting the real-time data, and also not just getting the data itself, but even taking an action of reaching out to clients, being concerned and reaching out to clients when their sites are down. So that is quite commendable and something that is needed. And I'm pretty sure other community networks can benefit from such a system, especially maybe if you could explain more about the synchronization, how you the data will get the data from your system and taking it to the Microsoft Access Excel. So synchronizing the two systems, your network and the Excel, and how those communicate in real time. Maybe you will get a time to explain to us how such a system works.
Okay.
But in the
Can I answer?
okay, sure, go ahead.
Okay, we actually populate the Microsoft Excel worksheet during installation of a site. Then we determine the IP address we are allocating to the router on site. That's the router that we that's the IP address that we put on the system. Let me just put it back online. So the IP addresses that you see there, so we have two sets of IP addresses. We have the IP addresses of the radios. Each radio that goes to a client, we have an IP address for it. And sometimes we do have a situation whereby a radio is shared across 3 or 4 clients. So in such a situation, that radio, we monitor the IP of the radio separately and the IPs of the clients separately. Each client is assigned an IP address so that we can know which particular client is up or down, irrespective of the radios, despite the fact that we also monitor the radios. So as during installation, whatever IP address we set for the radio, we actually assign it put it down onto the Excel sheet. And the IP address of the router that we've deployed, we also put it down. And then we start off we continue the testing. So in any instance, this information then is the same information that we use to update our ISP system. I hope I've answered the question first, class.
Yes, perfect. Thank you so much. What a simple and robust system. I really liked it. I really liked it. So thank you so much, Mr. Twahir, for that. Let's move to the next speaker, Immaculate. If you're ready, the floor is yours. And kindly let's restrict our presentations to 5 minutes because of time.
Okay, thank you. Let me just share my screen. Okay. Yes, a minute. My video. All right, so thank you once again. Once again, my name is Immaculate Lake from Bosco, Uganda. Bosco is an abbreviation for battery operated systems for community outreach. Bosco began operation in 2007 as a pilot project to the load-resistant army war that was here in the northern part of Uganda. So, okay, just a minute, please. I lost this. Okay. So Bosco started by installing low-powered solar computers in internally displaced persons camps. That was the main aim was to end digital isolation that was created by the war. Over time, Bosco has scaled up to establish now 54 ICT centers in 13 districts of northern Uganda, and as well as the refugee settlements in the West Nile region of Uganda. So Bosco envisions providing innovative ICT solutions to foster socio-economic development and peace building in rural communities. What we focus on is connectivity as the key thing. We have, this is the map, our network map. Our longest network spans up to around 168 kilometers. And we have we are using like 14 towers, which some of them we share we partner with some radio stations. And then we also do, we are known for solar systems. All our ICT centers, tower sites, all our ICT is based on the solar power. Then we also do capacity building, that is a digital literacy, and then also entrepreneurship trainings. So I would like to go straight to the knowledge resources that we have, some of them. I want to talk about our training manuals. We have like 3 of them. One is leadership and management training manual. When we establish these ICT centers, the first thing that we do is to train the management of the ICT centers on leadership and management. So this is to build their capacity to support them to sustainably manage the ICT centers. So this manual was developed around 2013, and it has topics, key topics, like on human rights, leadership, governance, communication, gender, planning, budgeting, and bookkeeping. So once we train the managers of the ICT centers on leadership and management, we now get on to train them on the digital literacy skills and using this manual. So this digital literacy training is given to people who become trainers of others within the community. So as I said, we have 54 ICT centers. It's very hectic for us to run and train everyone in those communities. So we train the first lot as the trainers of trainees, who in turn are in charge to train the other members of the community. Then this Microsoft Office and Web 2.0 training manual has introduction to computers, then the Microsoft Word, Excel, PowerPoint, Publisher, database, and then the internet and Bosco intranet. Then another key training manual that we have is the basic computer maintenance training manual. So this is to help build the capacity still of the managers, the ICT center managers, to be able to work out in case there is a breakdown of any of the equipment, be it solar equipment, computers, or network. So this training manual has 3 components: the computer maintenance and management, the solar installation and management, and then network troubleshooting and management. So we have seen this manual really work for our communities, as some of the community members go ahead to even start small businesses with these skills from this manual. All these manuals are translated into the local language, as our community is mixed. So some people do not know English, but with this local language, they are able to learn and participate in these things. So another knowledge resource that I would like to share is Entrepreneurship Essential Model. So this is a course that we came up with in partnership with Accenture. It's a self-paced course that we give to our communities through our intranet, that anyone who is on the Bosco intranet is able to access this course, or even anyone who accesses the Bosco's ICT centers is able to access this course. As we know, also, as we try to bridge the digital gap, there's a lot of unemployment within these communities. So we hope and we believe that through these training modules, and we have also witnessed so many people starting their own businesses after completing this module. So this course has introduction to entrepreneurship, business planning, markets and marketing, costing and pricing, good record keeping, and business management. So this is both within community settings and also the schools we work with. Within the schools, the students, some of the students formed clubs where they were able to start businesses within the school, like groceries and even salon, through this module. And then another one is the Bosco intranet. So most of the content that we have are accessed through our intranet. So the entrepreneurship model, as I said, then the digital literacy, digital content is also on our intranet, and then also Colibri is part of the intranet. So within the intranet, we have a forum where the community members on the Bosco network are able to create discussions or have discussions, as well as the intranet also acts as a market space or advertising space for our communities. We work with communities doing different activities. For example, farmers groups, sports groups, business groups. So this is a space that they always use to carry on marketing, or even a one-on-one chat, buy and sell using the intranet. Then last but not least, we have digitized, or we have come up with this Chakokwan Ilepa Acholi, learning Acholi language. So our main area of operation has the Acholi people. With the war, so many people moved to different regions. Some people have forgotten their local language, and even in schools always teach in English. So as our slogan states, connecting people, preserving culture, we came up with this in order to help support those who are still interested in learning the Acholi language. Even the people in the diaspora, some of them went earlier on with the war and they have forgotten the language, but they are still interested in learning it. So this is, so this is also, it's kind of like a course, self-paced. It has 17 lessons. So at the end of this, someone is able to read and write, yes, the Acholi language. So I think not to waste a lot of time, I thank you for listening. If there are questions, yes, I am ready to answer them. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Immaculate. I think Bosco, we should do a case study of Bosco. That was a lot packed in 5 or 7 minutes. I don't even know where to start. The 54 ICT centers, people starting their own businesses after attending the sessions. We have 168-kilometer radius and 14 towers. What else? Renewable energy, something that is in line with with the world goals, I would say. We also have the combination of the management and leadership skills together with the digital skills. And lastly, the localization of your content. I think, yeah, amazing. I'm amazed, and I'm really excited about what Bosco is doing. Twahir asked a question about the 168-kilometer. Do you use just one pair of radio to transmit, or is it bumped between towers in the middle? Maybe Immaculate, you can answer that through the chat. Yeah. And then I also like the aspect of the partnering with the Accenture to digitize your content. Maybe if you can also share the link to some of the courses that you've developed, so some of us can have a look and maybe get inspired and do the same. I mean, Africa, we have so many languages, but majority of them are not in the internet. So what you are doing with the Acholi language and the project is really amazing, and something that that can be taken up by other community networks as well. So thank you so much for the presentation. Now let's proceed to the last presentation. So Victor, if you're ready, kindly keep it 5 minutes or less. Victor, if you're there. Hello, Victor. Can't seem to get Victor. Okay, Mike, are you in a position to share? Maybe I don't know if we'll get Victor or Mike, either of them. But I would like to go through the chat and see some of the questions and if you oh, Victor is here. But Victor, we can't hear you. Still can't hear you.
I think Victor is muted. Victor, if you can unmute.
Victor. Okay. I think there's an issue there. We can't hear Victor. We can't hear you at all. I'm going to read Harry's comment here. Harry said, apart from businesses, PamojaNet is also implementing a voucher charging system that the individuals can use within the mast range, limited time and distance. Okay. Rispa, do you have any other questions from your side, from the chat?
Yes, I think there was a question for Harry, but he's already responded. on the monitoring system. And because he mentioned two resources that they have produced, the monitoring system and the incident management process. So the question was if he can be able to recommend where community networks can get to develop such, or what community networks can learn from PamojaNet in creating that.
Okay. I had one for Isaac about Airtel. So getting the broadband from the backhaul from Airtel. You mentioned about the affordability. Do you have a partnership with Airtel, or how? What did you mean by affordability, and why did you choose Airtel? Isaac, if you are here.
I beg your pardon, Mel?
Yeah, my question was, you mentioned, so you are getting backhaul from Airtel. So I wanted to know maybe if you have a partnership with Airtel, or why did you choose Airtel? You mentioned affordability, so I just wanted to understand.
Thank you very much, Mel, for your question. Yes, we made a comparison at the beginning in terms of the service provider in the area. And then, of course, as we are putting affordability as one aspect, at first we thought of, do we have to use the cables for us to be able to, have the internet in all these points, or we have to just use the receiver antenna? So the choice of choosing the receiver antenna itself was a cheaper option. Then secondly, for the case of the monthly subscription, Airtel is cheaper. They give more bandwidth, even the quality is better in the area compared to MTN. So I think per month we spend less than $100 for us to be able to have the internet on full time in all the sites that we currently have. So it's the issue of affordability. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Yeah, it makes so much sense. Yeah, I can see from the chat as well, people are asking about the manual, the training manuals from Bosco. Yeah, I think those will be really, really important. If they're available online, or if we can have access to them, can really inspire other community networks to do the same. And guys, you can see the importance of documentation as PamojaNet shared. The importance of documentation, being able to share these our resources online, or having them available online. It makes it easy for scalability, or for adapting of our training materials to other community networks as well. So great work from great example from Immaculate and the Bosco team. Rispa, do you have any other question maybe or comment, general comment from the chat?
Just trying to see if Victor is able to talk to us. Victor, can you try saying something? Yeah, let me still follow up with him.
Okay, I'll then open the floor for anyone who has not been able to ask a question. Maybe, so we have 6 minutes. So if you have any question, comment, you can either raise your hand or just type in the chat again. If we don't have a question, maybe to Immaculate, just a random one to Immaculate. What are some of the challenges that you think community networks are facing in implementing or developing knowledge resources, or the training manuals? From your experience, some of the challenges you encountered along the way.
All right, thank you. One main challenge that we have encountered is the cost of developing the manual, and this more especially the digital literacy manual. Technology keeps changing over time, and you need to keep on updating the manual. And also, as an educational material, there is need for it to be certified. So that is also another challenge because it's a long process. You have to follow, there's a lot of bureaucracy, which like our government is, when you just think about it, you feel like, yeah.
Okay. Thank you for sharing that. I think it's especially on certification. I think that is really important, especially if you want it to be adapted to other parts of the world, or to be recognized in your country. So certification is really important, and also the cost. So thank you for sharing those. And now, in terms of scaling up our programs, for example, how you ended up scaling to having 14 ICT centers, can you tell us about the process of the scalability journey? Again, to Immaculate.
Yes, all right, thank you. As we understand, there is really need for bridging the digital gap. Now, the northern region has suffered and is behind as compared to the central region or the western region. So we have worked with several partners who got interested in our work, and they were able to sponsor or fund us to scale up. Now, as we go within the communities, we work with the local leaders within the community, and we enter into that community through an established youth group. This has helped us in terms of sustainability, because through the local leaders within the community, they nominate the existing vibrant or active groups within that community. And then we do assess them, we assess their capacities, and these groups are always are already doing something. For example, maybe farming, maybe doing a business or something. So then the ICT or the centers that we take to them is to, first of all, support the work that they're doing. For example, the farmers, support them in researching maybe the crops or the pesticides or anything to do in that line, as well as allow the rest of the community. Hello?
No, we can hear you, Immaculate. Proceed.
Hello, Victor. Yes, as well as allow the communities. So what we do with the communities is we also require them to pay some amount of money towards internet subscription. So this, what has helped us to span that wide is the community owning these ICT centers and actively using them, which has given so many people or funders to support the work, this kind of work. And 54 is really very small in this northern part of Uganda. Actually, it's like 1/3 of the population or the region, but we also looking forward to expand as more as we can.
Thank you, Immaculate. Mirasi is trying to rejoin. I know we are on the clock, and I would like to request all of us for a few more, 5 minutes to just hear from StepNet. I think we can now hear Victor. Victor, can you try talking? Victor, you're on mute, just unmute. Hello, Victor. If you can hear us, kindly unmute.
Hello.
Yes, we can hear you. Please just take 5 minutes or less to present. Thanks.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Apologies that the configurations have failed us. Yes, Victor Santi representing Step Network. And Step Network is a baby community a network, so to speak. It's a software company that is focused on building communications infrastructure. Our focus presently is to develop community networks in rural areas. And so our objective largely is create connectivity, promote digital literacy, and then, of course, inclusion in remote communities. Why are we focusing on rural communities? If you look at this picture, you realize that people have difficulty in connecting with their, people within their community. Just imagine the kind of challenges that people go through. If you look at the first picture, for example, look at the gentleman, the number of phones that have been hung there. And this is the normal means that people use to remain in communication. Look at the middle picture. You find someone just bending. The moment the air blows, there wouldn't be any access to signals. And so these are the difficulties that people are confronted with in the rural communities. And this is the motivation for Step Network to assist rural communities to have their own form of connectivity. So essentially, this is the reason why we find ourselves now focusing on developing community networks in rural areas. So what has our efforts yielded so far? We've been able to build a community network in Samaboy. This was established in 2021. It was a private initiative, and then we Step Network acted as the technology providers. And so it's a population that has close to about 30,000 by, if you make reference to the last population census, about 30,000 people live within that catchment area and they don't have any form of connectivity at all. And so our presence by way of establishing the community network are sort of giving them hope and the inclusion within the digital space now. Similarly, we also went to a community in the western part of the country where we also put up a community network. I want to rush through the presentation. So, of course, we've also done a collaboration with JopoNet. This is a private developer in the eastern part of Ghana. And he started as a cafe, but now it's more or less a community network now. So the key resources that we'll be able to develop to run our on our networks largely, the local and these are largely local content. You know that if you have a network, people are able to utilize digital resources when they have content that essentially meet their needs. And so we'll be able to put up some local contents to drive the use of digital resources within these unconnected communities. And so we've developed this health portal, and this health portal is largely used by the health facilities within the areas that we've deployed to. This is a malaria e-tracker. Malaria is very endemic within these areas, and the chief compound and then the small hospitals within these communities, they use this health portal to track the rate of malaria, the rate of malaria. I mean, how the pandemic has been ravaging in these communities. They use this health portal to track the disease. Then, of course, you have the school learning platform. This school learning platform was developed sometime after COVID, because we realized that post-COVID, the shutdown, schools within the rural communities were not having opportunities to have lectures, have classes. So the students within those communities were disadvantaged as compared to students within the urban communities. And so we came up with this school learning platform to enable the students within these communities to have access to virtual learning opportunities. And so far, we have about like 4 schools within the Samaboy community utilizing this platform. Then we have what we call the Meet platform. This is a video conferencing app that has been developed on the network. So it enables the teachers to have a face-to-face engagement with the students within this community. As at the last monitoring that we did, these are the active users that we found online. And it's something that is very active, very vibrant within the communities. And we also have created what we call the online shop. In the Samaboy community, for example, the online shop is serving the needs of the micro and small scale entrepreneurs within that vicinity. Largely, that area, because it's a rural community, many of the businesses there are micro and small scale businesses. They don't really have any opportunity to market their wares. So this online shoppers come as an opportunity for them to be able to have some trading with their customers. Then we also have the cloud storage. The cloud storage presents opportunity for people within this community to now share information with other people who are on the network in different locations. And so, yes, and these are things that are actually accessed without even data. I mean, it could be accessed offline. And so all that you need to do is to be on the network, the community network. If you find yourself on the community network, you're able to utilize this app, and then by sharing information seamlessly with people within other localities. Of course, this is the payment app that supports the running of the system. And so if you buy a voucher, now it enables you to set an amount of data usage. So where do we want to go now? The emerging dynamics. I mean, we've done a lot of the Microsoft and all that. So we are looking at more futuristic applications like artificial intelligence, machine learning, coding. We believe that these are skills that people within the rural communities should also have relative to the people within the urban areas who are being exposed to these emerging technologies. We also think that we can bring these technologies to people within the rural communities. And so these are areas that we want to go. And then we are collaborating with some civil society organizations to ensure that technologies like artificial intelligence, machine learning, and coding, which largely will define the world of work, in the future, these opportunities are also given to people within the rural communities. And so, I mean, these are pictures of activities by STEP Network in the rural communities. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much, Victor. Really, really good presentation. Liked it, and especially on two important things. One is focus on open source software. From your presentation, I've seen you've used Jitsi for the meet. I think also just to reduce cost, it's really important also to use uh, uh, open source software, and also just as an advocate for open source software. I think that made me happy. And also e-commerce, education on e-commerce. I think that is really, really big in Africa. That's something that for community networks we should focus on, or try to align our activities in that area. I think there's a lot of opportunity there, and a lot of young people are interested in that. Yeah, so the fact that StepNet are focused or are doing activities around e-commerce is amazing. Of course, cloud storage as well, and the payment application. Yeah, so really, really amazing presentation. So thank you so much again for sharing. And to everybody else, how I wished we had more time, or how I wished the webinar went for 4 hours or something. I've really enjoyed the session. Thank you everyone for joining. Thank you to all the panelists for sharing amazing information with us. And back to us now. So for us, whatever we've learned, we put it into practice, implement it, and take our community networks to the next level. And for those, again, I'm pretty sure there are people who have not yet started their community networks, but are looking for inspiration and information. This was a good platform for you as well. So I hope you've learned a few things, and this puts you in a better position now to start your community network. Again, thanks to thanks to Tanda, thanks to APC, and thanks to Rhizomatica for organizing the webinar series. See you guys next time. So the session has been adjourned. Hope to see you guys in the next session. Bye, everyone.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks to all. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you.
Thank you. Have a good evening.
Good evening, everyone. Bye-bye.